Hello and welcome. This is a presentation of Dispatch Dashboard. I am Chelsea Chambers, the creator, and I am here to give you 5 ways to find carriers. So I decided to create this video training for a lot of people who are just getting into the industry, or maybe you've been, you've taken your training a while ago and you just haven't taken any steps because you haven't been able to really find any carriers who would like to work with you. So I wanted to make this video to address the most frequently asked question. And it just seems to be the number one problem that most dispatchers have, not being able to find carriers to hire them. And it's completely understandable. We have all been there. Everybody who just started out, they can tell you that, some of these challenges that you are facing are not uncommon. Especially when you're new, you're just starting out and you're not sure what to say, or not sure who to call, or not sure where to find people to call or companies to call. Maybe you've tried cold calling before, but you gave up on it because you just got had zero good results from it. Maybe you don't have enough information, or you feel like you just don't know where to start, or maybe you're just here because you need some pointers, or you just need some actual encouragement to really do something. So this is for you. I made this specifically for you, and I just want to say to you that it's not your fault. Trust me when I say it's not your fault. Any person in business can tell you that just starting out a business, any type of business, whether you're selling socks or you're selling bottled water, it doesn't matter what it is. You still have to market yourself. You still have to learn how to become appealing and how to attract people so that you don't find yourself chasing people all the time. So let's get into it. My top 5 ways of finding carriers. So, this list is going to be pretty detailed, but first I want to just go talk about some things, okay? Now, before you go out searching for carriers, trying to find new clients, and trying to build relationships with anybody, there are 3 things that you must be. Okay, you must be these 3 things. You must be very specific, meaning you must know exactly what you're looking for, right? Exactly. And I don't mean, okay, I'm looking for drivers to go over the road, I'm looking for all 50 states. No, if you're looking for drivers in all 50 states, you're doing it wrong. Narrow it down. Find a specific market. Be more specific about what it is that you actually can do. You can find loads. Okay, yes, everybody who has a motor carrier authority can find loads, but you need to be specific on what you can deliver. And that just goes across the board. But you must be specific about everything. Number 2, you must be honest. Be honest about who you can work with. If you want to work with flatbed drivers and you have a lot of sprinter vans coming your way, don't just say, yeah, I can take it just to say that you can take that, just because you want to take it and you want to get the experience. Don't do that. Okay. What you're doing is you're going to set yourself up to be discouraged if it doesn't work out. And then you will never set out to do what it is that you intended to do. So just be honest about that. And then also be ready. Be ready for an overflow of carriers reaching out to you. You got to think about it when you put a message out there on social media to billions of people. You're either going to have one or 2 things. You're going to have responses or no responses. So you have to be ready for either way. If you don't get any type of feedback or any applicants or any attention, any awareness, okay, you have to be prepared for that. On the opposite side of the spectrum, if you have 25 carriers reach out to you at one time, you have to be ready for that. And so we're going to talk about how to be ready for that, because again, you don't want to just jump out there. You don't want to just say, okay, I took a course, let me find my first carrier. You have to go through some processes first. All right. And so next, there are 3 things that you must know. All right. You have to know exactly what you're going to say. All right. You can't call and try to kind of like figure it out. Yes, I know a lot of people want to see what these phone calls look like. They want to hear a screen recording and everything. But that's only going to help you a little bit. You know what I mean? Because those conversations can go so many different ways, but it all depends on who you're talking to and how the two of you interpret each other's messages. So, again, you have to know what you're going to say when you call, when you start to reach out, or even when someone reaches out to you. You have to know exactly what you want to ask for. And that goes back to the first thing that we talked about is that you have to be specific, know what you're looking for. In order for you to know what to ask for, you have to know what you want. Okay. And also know what you can offer. Again, I can't stress this enough. Um, Everybody's saying the same things, but what is it that you can offer as you yourself? And if you're just getting into the game, is like I said, I know it's kind of hard to say, okay, I don't know what I can offer, or based off of your training, you feel like um, that's all that you can offer, but try to find a better way to explain it. One of the things that I like to tell people is try to get away from the word dispatcher. Yes, technically we do dispatch, and we can, but that's not all that we do. So highlight all of the things that you can offer, even if you are bringing along skills with you that you had from before you got into this industry. Bring it with you. Think about that. Just really, really sit down with yourself and think about these things that I'm telling you about, okay? Next, understand the difference between cold versus warm. All right. And this is calls. This is cold calling and warm calling. So when you're cold calling, you have to remember that you're just calling somebody for the first time. They don't know anything about you. You really don't know much about them, except you might know that they have a trucking company or that they're owner operator or whatever the case may be. And warm calling is when the positioning has been established, meaning um, the person who you're calling knows who you are and why you're calling. Or, maybe the person that you spoke to, maybe they might have come across your website or saw you on Facebook or whatever. So that becomes a warm call. Um, what my suggestions in all of these things are, definitely do it yourself. There are a lot of people out here offering to make your cold calls for you. Um, and I don't think that I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. Believe me, I'm not, because I absolutely hate cold calling. And if you've talked to me before, you know that cold calling is probably one of the biggest things that I try to avoid, which is why I wanted to bring this to you so that you can also get used to doing this. Because the thing is, when you have somebody else making your cold calls for you, somebody else is leaving that impression and you don't know what type of impression that is. You want it to be positive, of course, yes, but what if when you speak to the person who cold called for you, what if they're looking to speak to the person who spoke to them the first time? What if they might have given them an easy way to go, but they're giving you difficulties based on your personalities? So you definitely don't want to get into that part of things where you are kind of battling your own clientele. And I'm pretty sure these are probably people that you're going to pay for, because nobody runs a cold calling service for free. And again, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. After you've done this a lot yourself and you realize that it's too much or it's overwhelming for you, okay, definitely, you tried it, so then you can, outsource it. But my suggestion to you is, if you're going to start, do it yourself. All right. My next thing, is just break the ice first. Break the ice. And what that means is, when you're making an icy cold phone call, don't get into the details right away. Invite them, to talk more a little bit about themselves, and also to find out what they need. And if you can find out what they need, then you can invite them to have another conversation with you to break the ice. And in that phone call, that contact, that's when you can go into a little bit more detail and just kind of arrange how you want that conversation to go. And then, always use your elevator pitch, but don't use it right away. You can put it on your website. You can post it, but when you are in the middle of a conversation, especially when you're cold calling, don't rush into using your elevator pitch. If they're asking like, "Oh, what is it that you do?" You can kind of tell them a little bit about yourself, but Keep it to a minimum. Don't overwhelm anybody. You can just say something like, I help blank by blank, blank, blank. I help owner operators maximize their potential by whatever it is that you do. And you see this phrase at the bottom. This is, remember it, use it, make it your own. But just make sure that when you are explaining it, it's easily understandable. Somebody can pick up on it the first time you say it because you don't want anybody to think that you do something that you don't do. You don't want to misrepresent yourself. And that's so easy to do in this market because you can come off as a broker and you don't want to come off as a broker. But we'll talk about that as well. All right. My next thing is show up and be appealing. So you want to make sure that you're visible, that you're seen. So even after you make a cold call or a warm call, whatever the case may be, maybe it's a referral, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you have an online presence. So if somebody was to come across your website, they know it's you. Or if they were to come across you, they know they can find your website. Um, and your online presence is everything in 2021. I really feel like your website is more important than your business card. But more importantly, even if you have a business card, if you have a business card, you especially need to have a website. You definitely need to have an online presence. And whether it's a website, it's a Facebook page, doesn't matter, LinkedIn, everywhere that you have an online presence, there has to be somewhere where you can invite them to apply. And it should not be email me at or send a text message to. It should be professional. It should be, if you want more information, visit this website. If you want to apply, if you want to sign on with us, visit this website. This is how you establish your credibility. Emailing is very informal in 2021, which is a good thing because now you don't have to be so uptight. But at in the beginning stages, when you're dealing with this type of thing, you want to always make sure you have an online presence and you have somewhere for them to apply. You want to also make sure that you are offering incentives on your online presence, whether it's, you can say something like, the first load is on you, or whatever whatever your marketing strategy is, whatever your incentive is, make sure that you have one. That's how you draw people into you, because that's how you make people want to know more about what it is that you can do and what it is that you can offer. So, all right, so my number one on the list, which actually I wanted this to be number five because my number five is going to be number one, my number one, and my number one is going to be number five. But if you follow along with me, just follow along. I'm just going to go with the flow of the way it's written. So, all right, so everybody knows about this. Everybody knows about the FMCSA carrier registry. All right, and if you don't, you can go on Google and you can type in the FMCSA carrier search. And when you do that, this website will show up. Now, I'm telling you this because this is the only way that I'm ever able to find this. Um, and not to say that I don't know how to find it, it's just so much easier for me to find it that way. But definitely want to suggest to you, when you find this page, bookmark it, save it, and don't throw it away because you're going to use it a lot, a lot, a lot. So, on the carrier search, when you open up the page, and I'm just going to bring this window over here as it loads. All right, we're just going to refresh it and bring it on over. Okay. Bring this over here. Okay, so when you click on that link from the website that I just showed you, you'll see this. And we want to go to the top where you see the trucks and click on that drop down box and go in where you see FMCSA register and click on go. And what you'll see are several reports from the last 10 days or so. And when you click on these reports, and this gets really confusing for some, and I don't want anybody to be intimidated by this because I was when I first saw it too. Um, because it's a lot in here and it's going to be so much easier if you look them up first before you call. But let me actually go back. I don't want to pull it up this, so I'm going to pull up the HTML detail. That way it shows up as a website. And I'm actually going to, because I want two pages open, so I'm actually going to duplicate that page. I don't know if you saw what I did. I right clicked and just click duplicate because what I want to do here is I want to keep the carrier search window open because we're going to be searching MCs. So you're going to, when you open up the register for that day, um, keep in mind that these notices are notices that are sent out and decided. So make sure you read this carefully because some of these authorities will be brokers, some of them will be freight forwarders, some of these authorities will be inactive, and some will be pending cancellation. But I will show you. So let's take this one, this MC. We're just going to drop that in there. Okay. And now we see the company pop up. Let's click on HTML. And what do we see? There's a DOT number, business phone number, and here is what you need to see. This section is the most important. You can see that their common authority is inactive. They don't have contract authority. They don't have broker authority. So that particular person or company is a no-go. Searching again, taking the next one. And also keep in mind that while you're making these calls and you're doing this search, you don't know what type of vehicle they may have. All right. So keep that in mind that you don't know what you're working with. So when it comes down to looking for something in particular, like a specific truck or equipment, so that you can they can operate with a specific commodity or within a specific niche, you don't know what you're working with just yet. So this is another example. This person has a pending insurance cancellation, which means that their insurance that they reported to the FMCSA is going to um, cancel within 30 to 60 days from today. However, you can see that this person is an active contract carrier. The only things that you don't know is, again, is what type of truck they have or whether or not they're going to pay their insurance. So you can see why this method is a little bit iffy, but it works. It works. It does take a lot of research and just checking, and going into the next, next section. And also keep in mind here, this is name change. We're looking at certificate, permit, license. So we can check these. And I'm just doing this so that you can see what comes out of these searches and why some people have a lot of success with this and some don't. All right. Okay. So this particular company, they're Great Wolf Logistics. They have a common authority. So they are active. This may be a good option. Okay. Property, yes. So as long as they can pull property, yes. They're somebody that you could probably work for. Passenger, no. House of goods, no. Private, no. Enterprise, no. And their insurance, so it doesn't have a pending cancellation name here, label here. So this might be a good option to call, but keep in mind you don't know what type of truck that they have. To take it a step further, you could always, because like I said, you don't know much about these companies, but you can actually search for them. do a little bit more research on them. Maybe you might be able to find out more about them, but it's a possibility that a lot of these companies don't have websites, although they should. They absolutely should. So this particular company, all right, they do have an authority. Looks like we are a small transportation company. We're looking for owner operators to join our team. Okay. All right. And they are still looking for owner operators with their own truck or trailer. So let's see. Are they a broker or are they carriers? Or are they are they carriers and they allow other owner operators to run under them? So even if they have the opportunity like this, you could always still reach out to them and say, hey, do you need a dispatcher? So it looks like they are a trucking company. Their truck is on the logo. Um, all right. This company actually has a load board. And this is interesting. So maybe they are a broker. Okay. And this is from Trucker's Path. Okay. Well, we're not sure what this is, but this is again, this is how you can see, do a little bit more research into the companies and just to find out what they have to offer, who they are, and what it is that they do. So let's take a look at another company. Okay. HTML. All right. So this person is an active contract carrier. And now I also wanted to talk about the differences between the two. Recently, well, now the FMCSA doesn't really consider much of a difference, but a common carrier is someone who can pick up any type of freight, whether it's commercial, whether it's under contract, it doesn't matter from where. A contract carrier is typically a company or a carrier that is contracted to a company specifically. So it's almost like being that you already are taken, you're in a relationship. But now the distinction is not really necessary. Now a common carrier can also do contract carrier and vice versa. Vice versa. Okay, so now that we know they have an active authority, we also know that this company is authorized for property. So that's what we're looking for now. If you were a dispatcher looking for household goods, which I don't recommend, it's a different arena when it comes to passengers and household goods. Also wanted to note that the FMCSA could also consider passengers under their authority as well. But just look into that, do a little more research. That's a whole nother video. But again, same thing with this company. We're going to take the name of the company and we are going to search Google for them just to see if they are an established company just yet. This also helps us find out if they have a new authority or not. So let's see. All right, I see partnercarrier.com. Okay. So this helps you see a little bit more about them, but not really. So this is from partnercarrier.com. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with this website, but check it out. We'll cover it in just a little bit. But we can see that Lanero Trucking, they were incorporated 4 months ago. So take a look. on websites like this as well. And this, like I said, you still don't know what type of vehicle, what type of equipment they have. So you have to make that call. So that's another, option for you when it comes to finding carriers to work with. All right. So this is number one. All right. Number two, let's talk about the second way, which is online databases, like Planet Trucking, Quick Transport Solutions, Carrier 911, just like the one I just showed you, Partner Carrier. That's another one as well. Open Corporates, check that out as well. There are so many. Trucker Path. If you just go online and search trucking companies, trucker databases, you will never run out of companies to call to find out if they need a dispatcher. And let's take a look at one of them. Let's take a look at Planet Trucking, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have come across this website, which, this is one of the things that I like about this website. One of the things I do like about the website, okay, is that you can actually see, like, drive in, and let me bring this over here. Let me bring it over here. And I'm sorry, it's Trucking Planet. Let me fix that. Trucking Planet is what it's called. So when you click on carriers, you can see drive-ins, flatbed, refrigerated, hotshot, and LTL. If you decide you want to specialize in something else, you won't see that here. But let's take a look at what you will see. I'm going to click on drive-in carriers, and you see that drive-in carriers come here to post their empty trucks. So there are 357 listings here. Now, we don't know how old these listings are. We also don't know if they were posted by a actual trucking company or a dispatcher. But these are good resources. That's not to say that you can't call someone up and say, hey, listen, I have lanes in these areas. Look at this. Look at, they're telling you where they want to go. So check them out, and it tells you how many units they have. I mean, we don't know if that's true. We don't know if Paul really has 15 trucks. We don't even know if that's really their MC, but that's why you have the FMCSA website to check before you call. Always do that, because you don't want to waste your time calling somebody who doesn't have an authority, or someone who has an authority that's no longer active. 9 times out of 10, they're just trying to get onto your authority. And I've seen it, you guys. I have seen people be scammed all types of ways. So don't do it. All right. So that's Planet Trucking. We have Quick Transport Solutions. Well, Quick Transport Solutions, that is another popular one as well. And I mean, the only thing about this is that some of the companies here are no longer active. So this database could be a little bit outdated, but I believe they do update it sometime. So let's see. Close that because we don't need it. So when you go to, let me go back because that was just so unfair. I didn't show you anything, did I? All right. So on this first page, we want to go right here where it says view trucking companies. And if you can click on the state, we're going to look in Georgia. Why not? Georgia, let's look in Atlanta. So here you can see the different companies that are in the Atlanta area, along with how many trucks, how many drivers, their authority, and their contact information. Now, remember, like I said, some of these companies are no longer in business. You also have to remember that we are in the middle of a pandemic, and I want to say at the end of the pandemic. I'm just, wishful thinking, I guess. And I hope that you are thinking the same thing. Like, I hope we're at the end of this. But a lot of these companies are no longer in service. A lot of them also might have a different type of authority. They might have household goods authority. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that. All right, so you'll see the reports look different on a lot of them. Like this one will tell you that this is an active carrier right now. And I would still double check on the FMCSA website. All right, so this one, that's all the information they give you. Let's take another one. Take a look at another one here. Let's look at, all right, so if you're a car hauler dispatcher, you have companies like this that you can support. Alabama Import. Let's take a look at one more here. Trucks, total drivers. And as far as targeting, I mean, if you wanted to, if you feel pretty confident in yourself, and especially just getting started out, which is something that I recommend, I don't suggest going out here looking for a whole bunch of different trucks. If you can find one company that has more than one truck, and just starting out maybe less than three, then you'll be set. You'll be all right. You'll be good to go. You won't have to, chase after carriers. You can just go on and get to the next step and actually learn your position and learn your roles, execute them, and then get as you feel more confident in your abilities, then you can add more companies. But I don't suggest trying to start with a million companies just because you need to replace your income. This isn't a game. This isn't about just your income. This is about the drivers who sacrifice their time and their livelihoods to go on the road to make sure the economy um, stays going, keeps going. So we need them. So again, you want to go jump into go. You don't want to like just I say jump off the porch. You do want to jump off the porch, but you want to make sure the ground is solid when you land. So just take a look at websites like this, different trucking company databases, and you can find carriers there. Craigslist. All right, Craigslist is another good resource. Craigslist, you can search for jobs. So you can search in different cities and type in dispatcher and see what comes up. And what you should see are different jobs, different opportunities for dispatchers show up. So let me just pull up Craigslist for a second. And of course, wherever you are, it's going to show you where you're located. So I'm just going to do a quick search on mine, which I did this already. I was actually recording this video before, and me and my technical difficulties. And so, all right, search Craigslist. So this is Fredericksburg, Virginia Craigslist. We're just going to type in dispatcher. Okay, so we have here Payne Trucking, a family owned business in Fredericksburg, has an opening for transportation dispatcher to do what? To help grow our end up and drive in divisions by coordinating deliveries throughout the eastern coast of the U.S., utilizing internal resources and external subcontractors in the most efficient, blah, 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 blah. Okay, stop right there. Do you remember when we were talking about what you do? Do you see that phrase? And I used it earlier. I help grow. If you remember, I help blank, 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 blank by blank, 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 blank. When I say that is a winning statement, you see it. You see it yourself, right? So go with it always. All right, so back to the ad. I just wanted to point that out. So let's talk about the responsibilities. What is it that you would be doing in this position? Let's talk about, is this what you would be doing? Let's see. Communicate haul requests to drivers and contractors via offered communication methods. Yes. Understand driver and vehicle capability to perform the requested delivery. Yes. Promptly communicate any delays, issues, or concerns with completing the requested delivery. Yes. Ensure manifest integrity for all loads. Yes. Provide leadership, motivation, education, and support to all personnel directly involved with delivery operations. Yes. Yes, you do all of these things. So if you were somebody who maybe you're just looking to kind of get your feet wet and maybe you're looking for an opportunity to work as a dispatcher first, this is a great option. I don't know how much something like this would pay, but check this out. All right. And somebody actually posted this in the group. Um, earlier, was it today or yesterday? Just that these opportunities are present. And I mentioned this in Superscripts too. You have to think outside the box. So this is another one saying from that same company. So let's go back. So look a little bit further into this more expanded results. So what's this? Service dispatch. And some of them will be like, not related to what we do. Yeah, so this isn't trucking. This wouldn't be a trucking position. So, I mean, but if you have experience in it, hey, go for it. All right, this is for HVAC company. All right. All right, so this is another dispatch company that posted on Craigslist, and I'm pretty sure they paid for this. We are a team of dispatchers looking for truck drivers, owner operators, 5% for 3 months. You see, they posted an incentive. They also posted a website, so it comes down to that professional looking, that professional presence. However, this is good. Only thing there's no pictures. All right, number one, and number two, they paid to post this. On Craigslist, you do not necessarily have to pay to post your jobs. And I'll show you that in just a second. But let me take a look at another city and just see what other states. Let's look in Raleigh. Apparently, I looked here already. Okay. It doesn't really say, but let's Google the company. JD Service Now, which sounds like a service company, which again, that is something that doesn't really fall under the realms of what it is that we do. But let's take another look. All right. So those are records. So unless, and again, when it comes to dispatch, you don't have to just dispatch freight. I mean, it's literally up to you. You have to find your niche. I can't stress that enough. You won't like doing what everybody else wants to do, and everybody else won't like what you want to do. You have to figure out what it is that you do and what you can specialize in. Let's look at some other cities, maybe somewhere that's more well known. Which I don't even know. See, I'm from up north, so let's go with Eastern North Carolina. Let's see. All right, paying $24, $21 an hour. So I would call and find out more information for that one. So this is just how you can search for jobs. Now, the other thing that I mentioned before is where you can post without paying for them. Let's go back to Craigslist. All right. If you go to create a posting, don't post job offer, post job wanted. I'm an individual seeking employment. And this is the type of post that you want to post. It doesn't cost to post this at all. It doesn't cost to post this at all. Um, just make sure that if you're going to post in multiple cities that you are changing up your words because you can get flagged for posting in multiple cities. And then after maybe a few days, just go back, click on the link that is sent to you to edit your post and renew it every 3 days. So that goes back to the top of Craigslist. And all you want to put is that statement, I help blank, blank, blank by blank, 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 blank. If this is something that you need help with, please call me. Contact us by visiting the website www.blankblankblank.com. Very simple. You don't even have to put your flyer. You can just put a quote, anything. I would suggest don't put your flyer yet because then you're going to look like a business looking for a job. You can put your name there or um, any type of graphic, just not a flyer. It can even be just your logo. Put that there. Um, just don't make it look like you are a employer per se, because we aren't. We aren't hiring carriers. The carriers hire us. Am I wrong? Thank you. All right, so next, job boards like Indeed, Simply Hired, Google Jobs, Glassdoor, all of those websites, you can also find trucking companies to work for. And now, a lot of people think that when we say this, that means post a job. Okay, yeah, you can definitely post a job, but you can also search for them as well. So, let's bring this window over here. We are on Indeed. Let's type in dispatcher. As you can see, I had already done so. Okay, so of course, where I am, which is Virginia, they're going to show me all Virginia stuff. All right, so this company is McLean. Everybody knows who McLean is. You've seen their trucks. If you haven't, no worries. You're new to the game. You will see it. The more you I feel like getting into this business and really getting into trucking, I haven't really paid as much attention to trucking ever in my life as I have now. So you probably feel the same way. But this company does offer benefits. They do have some requirements here. Again, this is all stuff that we already do. And it has a schedule here. So if this is something that you think might work for you, check it out. They also do a background check and blood drug screen. So if it's something that you wanted to just get your feet wet to get used to doing it, something just to add to your income or maybe replace it, look into it. Let's look at this. This is actually in Salem, Oregon. They pay $18 an hour. Okay, they are a sanitation provider and they offer services. Okay, so this is routing. It might not be freight, but it's also, it's a niche. So I would look more into this company, Honey Bucket. Let's see, who are you, Honey Bucket? Let's see, Honey Bucket. And again, above all things, I at least want you to take this one thing from this is how to research. If you don't understand anything else that I'm showing you, I just hope that you understand the research that I'm showing you. Okay, so they are porta potties. Hmm. I mean, if that's not a niche, I don't know what it is. So get into it. If it's something that you're like, hey, I could do it, apply. And do the same thing on Indeed and Simply Hired and Google Jobs. Yes, Google does have a job board, and I love it because it shows it's like a little bit better than Indeed. But check all of them out and apply for them. Check every city. And then, last but not least, my favorite, most effective, excuse my kids in the background screaming, but my most effective and my favorite strategy for gaining more carriers and actually not finding them, helping them find me is using social media engagement. And when I say social media engagement, God, I do not mean go in the groups and post your flyer in every single trucking group that you are in. On behalf of all the dispatchers in the world, I beg of you to stop. Because the thing is, if you're in a group of brokers, truckers, dispatchers, and you're posting your flyer and everybody's doing that, nobody's seeing it. Nobody is seeing it. And if anybody is seeing it, that's somebody that 9 out of 10 times will not match what you have to offer. This is why I wanted to make this video because I'm hoping that these strategies can help you do something else to kind of make the groups look a little bit more appealing and also so that they actually become places where you can learn and connect and engage because you can't engage in a group with flyers everywhere. And if you've noticed, I deny those posts in my group because we don't want it to be full of flyers. Okay, yes, we know you have a dispatch company, but what do you have to offer? What can you bring to the table? And that is why you have to have a solid social media presence. Make sure you have your Facebook and Instagram business page with your logo and relevant, and make sure you're posting relevant and engaging content. That means relevant industry news. That means market trends. That means funny stories. That means memes. I mean, go in. There's so much more than that you can post in a flyer, and then just in a quote that says, "We are looking for our owner operators in 48 states." Everybody's saying that. Say something different. All right. You also want to make sure you have a website and sales funnels with contact forms, because when they visit your Instagram and your business page and things like that, they're going to want to see something else. All right. Also, make sure that you're using your social media pages to post lots of videos, lots of stories. I want you to go live. Get active in more of the groups and not just the trucking groups. You have to understand that the truckers, they are in, if you look at a trucker's Facebook page, I'm pretty sure you'll see that they're in at least 10 groups, and at least five of them have no relationship to trucking. Check your city's barter groups, yard sale groups, business owner groups, black business owner groups, whatever. Check the groups in your cities. And then once you realize what's in your city, add yourself to groups outside of your city so that you can also post engaging posts there as well. And get established on every platform. I mean, go to LinkedIn, post you create, update your profile on LinkedIn, update your profile everywhere. And if you have more than one business, add another profile. It's nothing wrong with having more than one business. It's a blessing to be able to. So create a new account for each of your businesses. And if you want to see like some examples of some posts that I suggest that you can post in other groups, um, in this video, there's a contact form. Just enter your information, and you'll get an email with all this, everything that we talked about in this video. You'll get some, free report that goes over everything that we're covering, all of these steps. All right, so let's recap. What did we talk about today? Um, first we talked about being specific, honest, and ready, and then we talked about knowing what to say, what to ask for, and what you can offer. We talked about cold calls versus warm calls, and then we talked about how to show up and be appealing. If you have done these things, then you are ready. You are ready to start searching. So now the top 5 ways, and I'm just going to start from the bottom because again, this is how it should have been. Um, top number 5 was FMCSA. Number 4 was online databases. Number 3, Craigslist. Number 2, I'm sorry, job boards. And my number 1 favorite is social media engagement. If you want more information, want to learn more about social media engagement, just simply watch what I'm doing. And I am working on a training program just to help you, specifically on each platform, as far as like YouTube, how to set up your YouTube, how to set up your Facebook, how to set up your Instagram. And I do have other videos for that, but I'm just kind of updating everything. So just stay tuned. You will see more information come from me really soon. But I hope that this was enough information for you to just kind of get started, to get out of your mind and to get moving and start taking action so that you can get your business going like you want to. We are now 2 months into 2021. I know if you had goals for this happening last year, let's not procrastinate on it anymore. If you just getting started this year, you're like, it's February. Okay, yeah, let's get cracking. If there's anything that you need, any type of support that you might need from me, do not hesitate to reach out. I love helping people. That's one of the things that I'm doing, what I'm doing, and I will never turn you away. So, but all in all, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel on Facebook. I'm sorry, not on Facebook, on YouTube. And also be on the lookout for my new channel. I will be creating a new channel just for me, just talking about different marketing strategies and different things involving any business. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Please check out our programs, Dispatch Dashboard, our Freight Dispatcher training course, and also our newest platform, Remarkable CRM. This is Chelsea Chambers, and I will see you next time.